You know, it strikes me that we collectively misunderstand the tool we're holding.
Mm-hmm.
We look at ChatGPT and we treat it like a poster.
Right.
You put bread in, you get toast out. It's a transactional, single-use interaction.
Yeah.
But looking at the research we have today, that is fundamentally the wrong mental model.
Completely wrong.
The real power isn't in the one-off question. It's in treating the AI like a system.
Yes.
A system that remembers, a system that learns, and a system that actually organizes your chaotic thoughts into something coherent.
That's the disconnect right there. We treat it like a magic 8-ball.
Yeah.
Shake it, get an answer, put it down. But the source material we're diving into today, Systematize Your Workflow, 15 advanced ChatGPT hacks. It just flips that script.
It does.
The core argument here is simple. If you find yourself typing the same context twice, you have already failed.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. It is good to have you here. Today, we are going to try and move past the viral tricks.
Please.
We aren't doing write me a poem about a cat in the style of Shakespeare.
Laughing. No, we are not.
We want to get into the mechanics of building what the source calls a personal workflow engine. We have a roadmap today that covers setting up memory, automation, project structures, and some truly advanced decision-making tools.
This is the difference between playing with a toy and hiring a chief of staff. And honestly, it starts with the thing most of us get completely wrong.
What's that?
Identity.
Right, the foundation. The source calls this teaching ChatGPT your writing style.
Mm-hmm.
I think this resonates because, well, how often do we find ourselves typing, make this sound more professional, or
make this shorter.
Stop using the word delve?
Every single day, it's prompt drift. You spend half your energy fighting the AI's default voice, which is usually that overly cheerful corporate customer service robot.
It is exhausting. But is it fixable? Because I feel like I fix it in one chat, and then I open a new one, and we are back to square one.
That's exactly what the source addresses. It gives us a specific mechanism to fix this permanently.
Okay.
And the key is, don't describe your style, show it.
Show, don't tell.
You don't say, I write casually. You take an email you actually sent, one you're proud of, paste it in, and use a very specific prompt to lock it in.
Let's look at that prompt, because the phrasing seems important.
It is. You say, analyze this for tone, style, format, and reading level. You let the AI break you down. It effectively deconstructs your linguistic DNA. And then, this is the kicker, you tell it to store that memory for a specific context. Like, remember, this is how I write to my team.
That specific context part seems critical.
It's everything.
Because the way I write a script for this deep dive is very different from how I write an email to a confused accountant.
Precisely. The source emphasizes one style per context. You can have a client email persona, a Twitter thread persona, and a strategic memo persona.
All stored.
All stored in memory. So next time, you just say draft an email to the team and it pulls the team mask off the shelf. No more manual correction.
I have to admit, I still struggle with this. I find myself manually correcting the tone in almost every session because I haven't taken the 5 minutes to set this up. It feels, I don't know, almost lazy on my part not to do it.
It's not just you. The source mentions that personalization settings are the features most people skip.
They're hidden away.
They're hidden in the settings menu, but they act as a global baseline. You can go in there and set a default about you. Your role, your experience level, your preference for no-fluff answers.
So you're giving the AI a permanent dossier on who you are.
Exactly. So you don't have to introduce yourself every time you walk into the room.
So does this mean we stop treating it like a generic robot?
Yes. It becomes a mirror of your specific communication style. It stops sounding like an AI and starts sounding like you on your best day.
That is a compelling thought. But to make that work, you need a container, right? You can't just have all these different personas floating around in a void.
Right.
This brings us to the second pillar of our discussion, structure, specifically projects.
Projects are huge. If you're still using the default chat history, that infinite scroll of random conversations on the left side of the screen.
Which is most people.
It's most people.
Yeah.
You are living in a messy house. The source describes projects as folders with a brain.
Folders with a brain. Break that down for me.
Think about your physical desk. You wouldn't stack your tax returns, your creative writing journal, and your grocery list in one pile, would you?
I mean, I might, but I shouldn't.
Exactly. Right now, most people's chat history is that pile. Projects let you create distinct workspaces.
Okay.
One project for client work, one for creative writing, one for learning Python. And here's the key. Each project has its own custom instructions and its own files.
And there is a specific setting here that the source flags as critical project-only memory.
Yes, this is the safety lock. By default, ChatGPT's memory can bleed across conversations. You do not want the casual, slang-filled tone you used in your creative writing project to suddenly show up.
In your corporate strategy project, that would be a career-limiting move.
It would be awkward, to say the least.
Yeah.
Project-only memory isolates the context. It ensures that what happens in the project stays in the project.
Right.
It's essential for privacy, too, especially if you're uploading sensitive client docs.
It reminds me of the concept of context switching in human psychology. It takes energy to switch from one task to another. By creating these projects, you're effectively offloading that cognitive load onto the machine.
That's the perfect analogy.
You're building distinct rooms for distinct modes of thinking.
That's it. And sometimes you don't even want a room. Sometimes you just want a sandbox.
Okay.
The source mentions temporary chats for this.
Right, the incognito mode of AI.
Basically.
Yeah.
These are chats that don't save, don't train the model, and don't create memories.
Okay, so what's that for?
It's perfect for when you need to ask a dumb question or test a prompt or run a sensitive role play, and you just want the slate wiped clean immediately after. It keeps your main memory banks from getting polluted with garbage.
Why is the isolation of memory so critical here?
It's context hygiene. You don't want your casual chats leaking into professional strategy. You keep the signal-to-noise ratio high.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, even in code.
Right.
Now, let's move to something that I think changes the dynamic of the relationship entirely. We're talking about automation.
Yeah.
The shift from passive to active.
This is where it gets fun. Most of us think of ChatGPT as a tool we have to pick up and use.
Mm-hmm.
But the source points out that you can flip that dynamic. You can set up a daily reminder system.
Give us an example of how that works practically, because my phone already has reminders.
True, but your phone just pings you with a label. ChatGPT can perform a task.
A task.
You can tell it. Every weekday at 8 a.m., send me 3 important AI updates focused on OpenAI and Google. It creates a background task. It runs whether you open the app or not.
So it pushes the information to me.
It pings you with the briefing.
That is a subtle but profound shift. It's no longer waiting for input. It is initiating the interaction.
It's massive. And you can scale this up with what the source calls the company knowledge base.
Right, for teams.
If you're on a team plan, you can connect your Google Drive, your Notion, your calendars. So instead of asking ChatGPT to search the web, you're asking it, what did we decide in last week's marketing meeting?
And it's pulling the answer from your actual internal document.
From your stuff. And there's also this mention of apps and connectors using the @ symbol.
I've seen that.
Yeah, this is the app layer. You type @ in the chat, and you can call up external tools. You can summon Khan Academy for a math explanation or a design tool to generate a vector image right there in the flow of conversation.
So no more tab switching.
It's orchestration.
It's fascinating. You imagine scaling this. Waking up to a personalized briefing created by an agent that ran through your internal docs and the external web while you slept. It feels like we are inching closer to that sci-fi vision of a digital butler.
Ideally, a butler that doesn't judge my calendar management. But yes, that's the dream.
So if we look at this automation layer, it stops being passive.
Right. It transitions from a tool you hold to an assistant that nudges you. It becomes proactive.
I want to pause for a moment to consider the implications of that. But first, let's take a quick break. We are back. We've talked about identity, structure, and automation. Now I want to get into the act of creation itself.
Yeah.
The source mentions advanced creation, specifically dealing with how we generate output images, code, mini apps.
This is for the builders. The first hack here is model switching inside custom GPTs. This is a bit technical, but super important.
Let's break it down.
People build these custom assistants, maybe a writing coach, GPT, but they built it 6 months ago. It's running on an old brain.
And the source said you can swap that brain out.
Exactly. You can go into the settings of an old GPT and force it to use the new thinking models like O1 for deep reasoning.
It's like taking a vintage car and dropping a Ferrari engine inside.
That's it. You keep the interface, but the performance skyrockets.
Speaking of performance, the image generation workflow described here seems much faster than the usual method.
It's the batch images hack. Usually people prompt, make a logo. Wait, make it blue. Wait.
Ooh.
It's so slow.
Yeah, it's iterative.
The source says do it in parallel. Tell it. Create a hero image for a sauce website. Also create a dark mode version. and a minimalist thumbnail version.
So you get 3 variations instantly.
And you can spot the direction you like immediately without waiting for 3 separate failures.
That brings us to canvas mode. This is something I've seen pop up recently. It seems to be more than just a chat window, but less than a code editor.
Canvas is incredible. It's essentially a prototyping environment. If you ask ChatGPT to build a to-do list app and you're in Canvas mode, it doesn't just write the code snippet.
Was due.
It renders a preview, you can click the buttons, you can check the boxes.
So you are building software without writing a line of code.
You're building interfaces. Calculators, planners, simple interactive tools. You describe it, it appears.
What does canvas mode actually represent for a non-coder?
Instant prototyping. It turns an abstract idea into a clickable reality in seconds. It removes the fear of the blank page because you can see the thing working immediately.
That removal of friction is the theme here, but I want to go deeper.
Let's do it.
The final section of our roadmap covers deep thinking. We are moving beyond simple tasks to research, strategy, and complex decision-making.
This is where the power users live. The source highlights deep research combined with your own data.
Okay.
Now, deep research is an agent that goes out, reads dozens of websites, and compiles a report. That's great. But the magic happens when you tell it to cross-reference that web data with your uploaded internal strategy documents.
So it's validating your internal assumptions against the external reality of the market.
Precisely. It's a reality check machine. And speaking of reality checks, there's this decision simulator. I love this one.
How does that work?
You're stuck on a big decision. Maybe, should we pivot to enterprise clients? Instead of asking for advice, which can be vague, you ask for a simulation.
A simulation.
You say, simulate this decision from 3 perspectives. My customer, a competitor, and a skeptical investor.
A skeptical investor. That's a useful perspective to have on demand.
It is, and the AI role-plays all 3. It predicts the friction points, the counter moves by the competitor, the doubts of the investor. It helps you see your blind spots.
It's not a crystal ball.
No, but it clarifies the risk.
That is powerful. There is also a tool mentioned for documentation, the SOP generator, but the method described is conversational.
This is the interview mode hack.
Yeah.
Most people hate writing standard operating procedures, SOPs.
It's boring.
It's so boring. So instead of writing it, you tell ChatGPT, ask me clarifying questions one by one about how I do this task, and then turn my answers into a detailed SOP.
So it interviews you about your own job.
Yes. You just brain dump the answers verbally or in quick text, and it structures the chaos into a formal document.
It captures your tacit knowledge.
The stuff you do without thinking, and writes it down for you.
And finally, there is the concept of the knowledge graph. This feels like a long-term project.
This is for the lifelong learners.
Yeah.
You create a project called Thinking and Research. You dump your book notes, your random ideas, your article summaries into it over months.
Okay.
And periodically you ask it, what patterns are emerging in my thinking, or connect this new idea to things I wrote 3 months ago?
It's looking for the connective tissue in your own intellect.
It is. It's finding the threads you forgot you were weaving.
What is the ultimate value of the knowledge graph approach?
Synthesis. It finds connections between your ideas that you might have forgotten. It stops your knowledge from being just a pile of notes and turns it into a web of understanding.
Synthesis. That is the goal. We have covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From establishing an identity to building a structure, automating the mundane, prototyping ideas, and finally, using the machine to deepen our own thinking.
It's a lot. And the source makes a great point in the big idea recap. The people getting the most value aren't the ones writing the perfect, complex, super prompt.
No.
They're the ones building systems.
It is a shift from chatbot, which is transactional, to operating system, which is cumulative.
Right. And the advice is, don't try to do all 15 of these things tomorrow. You will burn out.
Just pick one.
Pick one. Maybe just set it the project-only memory so your work stays clean. Or maybe just try the writing style hack so you stop fighting the tone.
Stack them gradually.
Exactly. Lego blocks, not a monolith.
So here is our challenge to you, the listener. Pick one. Try the decision simulator on a choice you're avoiding making.
Yeah.
Or try the writing style hack and see if it feels like looking in a mirror.
And honestly, try the SOP generator if you hate documentation. It's a lifesaver.
It really sounds like it. You know, as we close, I'm left with this thought about memory. We're outsourcing not just our tasks, but the retention of our context. If the AI remembers our style, our past projects, our patterns of thought better than we do, it changes how we view our own past work. It's no longer something we leave behind. It's something that actively informs what we do next.
It makes everything we've ever done available to us right now. That's a superpower.
A superpower indeed. Thank you for listening to this deep dive.
Catch you on the next one.